I'll try to be quick about this. If I have some trouble getting through it, I'd appreciate it if you just cover my 6 with your grace. 35 years ago, I became a realtor. 34 years ago, the next year, I served for the first time in a WR committee. 25 years ago, as the president of this association. Yesterday, I was recognized for achievement. I found out maybe a couple of weeks ago that I was going to receive that award. And I began reflecting back on the achievements that I've had the opportunity to be involved in. And I've come to the belief that the most significant achievement that I've had the opportunity to participate in during all of that time when we have dealt with such just difficult, gut-wrenching, incredibly important issues is something that happened the year that I was president, 25 years ago, that I haven't talked about. And I want to share it with you right now. As president, I had the opportunity to make one appointment to the executive committee of Washington Realtors, and I got to appoint anybody I wanted. And I appointed a guy named Paul Bascom. I had grown up in a family that had helped to frame my values and had taught me to keep my eyes open. My mom's side of the family was Irish Catholic, lived in Nashville, and had experienced their fair share of discrimination, being called Mick. And my wife's side of the family is Italian, and we don't even think about a Mick and WAP anymore, but at the time they were the derisive equivalent of the N-word today. And whether it was because of that influence or not, she entered the state oratory competition as a high school senior. And she stepped to the front of that room in Nashville, and she waited a long moment, and then she said, "The man on the cross had slanted eyes. His skin was black, and they called him a Jew." And as she did, her words got really deep and appropriately into the racist heart of the South. Her brother, my uncle, was Bobby Kennedy's administrative assistant for race relations when Bobby was Attorney General for President John Kennedy. That may not mean much if you didn't live through the assassination of President Kennedy and the assassination of Martin Luther King, the assassination of Medgar Evers, and eventually the assassination of Bobby Kennedy. Bobby had sent my uncle into the marches in the South undercover to find out what was going on and report back directly to him. While he was down there, he was in his car, he saw a couple of young black girls that were being attacked by a mob, and he took his car over to them to try to give them the opportunity to get the station wagon and get out of there. The mob got them, got him, stopped the car, pulled him out, and beat him over the head with a pipe. And Bobby Kennedy made this little thing. It was so funny. It's a little plaque that he made that looks like it had been made by like a junior high school kid or a freshman in high school, and had a piece of pipe on this little thing that had been wired to it. But they taught me to keep my eyes open. And so when I became president in 1999, I reflected back on the fact that I hadn't seen anybody in the executive committee that didn't look like me. So I took advantage of the opportunity to appoint Paul Bascom. He was a champion of civil rights, he was a commercial broker. I asked him if he'd come serve. He said yes. I appointed him, he came in, he sat down, and we went to work. We didn't say a word about the fact that he was black or that he was a civil rights activist. He was just a capable person. Not much came of it, I didn't think. And then I started reflecting back, and I started remembering that we started seeing a lot more color in our executive committee. And later, Mark Kitabayashi pointed out that we became the first state association of realtors in the nation to have 2 black presidents back to back. Margot, who if you knew her, I don't have to say anything, and if you didn't, no explanation could be possibly sufficient. But she stepped up. And Jerry Martin, who continues to stand up. Stand up, Jerry. Here's the point. I'll make this quick, because I know Michelle's got a lot of stuff she needs to get to. Here's the point. Paul and I came to this moment by different paths, and each of you has your own path. We all had our own personal stories. Paul, it took him a year to tell me that part of his story included his brother being shot to death on the sofa watching television in their home when the police came through the door. It said that they mistook the channel changer in his hand for a gun, and they shot him to death. We all come with our own history and our own life experiences, and there's lots of grit and diversity in that, but the individual strands that we have come together and create the opportunity for an amazing fabric. The point is that because you're here, I know that whether it's here or someplace else, you're going to have the opportunity to keep your eyes open, to see something, and not just yak about it, but to touch it. And when you do make a difference, not knowing what that difference is going to be 25 or 30 years later, but you're here, and you can see, and you can look for it, and you can make the commitment. You're going to touch it, and you can do it privately or all by yourself, or you can do it with others, and you can do it with fanfare and collaboration and festival, whatever. But it will come, and there will come a day when you will be like the poet Robert Frost, who said, 2 roads diverged in the woods. And I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Make the difference, kick ass, because that's who you are, it's who we are, realtors.